Okay, that last one was my fault. I'm so not good at this. Can you hear me okay, Andrea? Oh, good. Okay. I don't know if it's my internet. Usually my internet's pretty good, but if not, then... Can you hear me this time? Oh, good. Okay, good. Okay, so I will start this then. If you notice, it starts in March of 2019. That was when I think a lot of things maybe came to light with the whole Tracy and NJ thing that happened there. So I just sent her a message. Hey, Judy, it's Jen Sales. Are you okay? She wrote no. I said, I am so sorry this is happening to you. I'm at a loss for words. How can I help? She said, you can't. Then we were messaging back and forth on Facebook. She asked if we could talk in text, and I said yes, and she said she didn't have my number or something, so I just said, it's me, and she said, okay, saved, and that's when she saved my number in her phone. And then I said, I'll be getting ready soon, but if you go live, I'll click to listen. I just won't be able to comment. I leave my house around 1 o'clock for my meeting. If I'm removed, it's going to be a long meeting. If not, then they are going to want me out of the meeting and back to work. LOL, fingers crossed. What that is referencing was that at this point I was trying to get out of the whole, FBI thing against NJ and Justin. I was saying that that they wanted to remove me because I had told her what I was doing. And please remember that I was making all this crap up, and I couldn't get out of what I was doing. And she said, I'm here if they need to speak to me. And then I didn't answer her for the rest of the day. She said, what's up? This is hard to do. NJ, you are a pro at this. I don't know how you do it. And then I didn't answer her back. She said, they are calling my son and my entire family. Can you see where they are with this? She had asked me if my superiors would get a hold of her son and tell her that she was working with the FBI. So, and if I giggle here and there, I'm sorry. I know what I did was horrible. But the more I think about this and look back on it, yeah, I don't know how she fell for it. I just don't. I said, oh, Jesus Christ, give me a few minutes. They are complete assholes. She said, Val is freaking out, and that's supposed to be Gina's freaking out. I said, Judy, I don't know if the call had been made or not, to her son. What if you do a video? Oh, and before I wrote this, at this point, Justin had made a video and said that you guys would go your separate ways, but Judy needed to humble herself and apologize for saying the things about your son. And that's why I said, what if you do a video saying that you apologize to their children, that this was never about them and it shouldn't have went there and it never will again. Say that you love your son more than life itself, and when they talked about his sexuality in a derogatory manner, it cut you to the bone. Because of that, you returned in kind. You can also say that you never have to forgive each other. However, from here on out, a truce can be made when it comes to children, yours and theirs. That way you have this video to back up that they started it. It's not apologizing to them, but their kids. It seems to have exonerated. I don't know what I was saying. I said, ugh, I'll keep trying to get a call in to my fake superiors. I said, crap, now I don't know if you're getting this. She said, I can't, so she can't apologize. I said, okay. She said, I'll just tell him if he calls what's been going on, and she's talking about her son. She said, what's going on, and he can message you, or you can message him. I said, let him know that he or his superiors, I'm still not clear on if he's getting it or not, will be getting a call. At least that's what I've been promised. She said, okay. I said, okay, I can do that as well, but only if he reaches out to me. Oh, there she is. Okay. Where is it? Okay, I can do that as well, but only if he reaches out to me. I can't do it, but I certainly will if he contacts me. She said, I will tell him to reach out to you if he calls me. I said, okay, please let me know if anyone else gets contacted. She said, okay, they have lost it totally. I said, I know, and they plan on taking anyone down with them. And please, you guys, please, I know I've said bad things in here. Please forgive me for anything that I said, and I'm really sorry about that. She said, well, these allegations are absurd. And I just wrote 100%. I don't remember what the allegations were. I said, oh, she kept asking me to have the boys get into to NJ's Google Drive and all that stuff. So I just said, Google Drive, YouTube Scope, all of it is in the hands of people that need it. She said, awesome, finally. Will she be charged for going after my son as a hate crime or blackmail? I said, it's possible, but I can't say for sure. She may be charged, but then have it dropped. She said, what about the river rats charge? That's what she called crapper. I said, only as a bargaining tool. He's fucked, maybe even worse than the Turners. She said, that's good enough for me. Will it be documented? Why? I said, that's what I was working on this morning. I just took a break when you sent me that. She said, let me call you. I said, okay. I'm sure we had a call. December 13th, no scope from the Turners. I said none. You know, her little emojis. She said, any word? I'm going live when I leave. Val wins Scope Queen today. I said, did you know that reporting a crime, such as the accusation of pedophilia to an officer in Oklahoma, is punishable up to 6 months in jail? She said, what? Did they report it? Again, talking out my ass. I said, I cannot confirm. However, putting a video out stating you lied after such a report would not look too good. Again, now, please notice the let me dig was from her. I wrote, those are my tales, and I meant to say theories. It's possible a judge may be hearing that case in court. Conspiracy is a motherfucker in that claim as well. She said, your theories may be why we have not heard from them. They could be in the slammer. And I said, perhaps. She said, how would one research finding if someone's picked up? Is that public information? And then she sent me a link to a YouTube, and I want to say that that is maybe her YouTube, but when I click into those, it takes me out of this chat and doesn't bring me back to where I'm at. So, I mean, if you want me to, like, do a separate scope and go into whatever she has sent me, I will. I don't know at that point what that is. She said, you must call me. I think the Turners screwed up. And then she did that stupid meme. Visited the liquor store today. They have proper vodka. It's one with no proof. I just put laughy faces. Christmas, Murray. Blessed Christmas to you and yours. Love you, girl. January 3rd. Hey, it's me. What did your son say? She had left me a message that said that she told her son that she was working with somebody from the FBI. She said, he laughed his ass off. I told him about the attacks on his lifestyle choice. Laughed. He knows about you and he is perfectly fine. If he gets contacted where it affects his job, he will let me know. Otherwise, he said, carry on. I just said, oh, Judy, I'm so happy for you. She said last time he got a message, it was in his in his box for months. He's going to keep track now who contacts him. I said, excellent. I said, sorry, I've been MIA. Got my grandsons today. They use my phone to watch YouTube, so sometimes I don't see messages right away. She said, it's okay. I said, plus the shithead turned the ringer off, LMAO. And then you can see that she was sending me links to NJ's videos. And then she wrote, someone's really mad. And then January 4th, she sent me a link to Shauna's about something, and then sent me a link to that James Stakoviak. She sent me one from Tina Piazza. I have no idea who Bucket Spike is, so I don't remember what that was about. Sent me a link to, what's her face? Pam. More links to NJ's stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, she talks about that a little bit here too, about Rob. When she's talking about court, she's talking about my daughter. My daughter was beat up by 5 girls, and we had court for her because they, obviously, it was assault. When is court? 22nd. She said, I saw another kid missing. I'm sorry. I said, it's horrible. I haven't been able to catch a damn break 16 hours a day at the least. And a lot of times I would do stuff like that so that she would think I was busy and leave me alone. So that's that. She said, I'm so sorry. I want to update you. Let me know when you are free. Then I said I should be good for tonight at least. LOL, meaning the bullshit, not, my fake stuff would stop. She said, okay, I break at 3. If you are free then, great. But if not, I get it. I said, okay, everything okay? I should be good to go, LOL. She said, yes, been infiltrating. I just said, you rock. January 6th. Shauna's going live, not sure about what. I'll share. I said, okay. She said, I said, what's up with that? I think that Shauna maybe started a video and then stopped. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that that's what happened. She said, I don't know, she will be back. I said, wonder what's going on, but she's going to send NJ on a tangent, LMAO. Blair is live. Jojo Cam snagged her link, LOL. She said, how do you know that? I said, her bubble came in for a split second, LOL. And then she said, Babe Bear. I thought maybe that's who it was. Wow. Oh, there was, Shauna did a scope about people not wanting her to be with Rob. That's what that was about. She said, I've not watched. I was clueless. I can't deal with that crew. They are not my people. I said, I only saw one with her, but you could tell she was into Rob. And I was talking about that Babe Bear. I'm not trying to be prejudiced, but damn, all they bitch about is race. And a link to Cropper, a link to NJ. I'm not sure who that link is to, the one underneath that. A link to Cropper, link to Crapper, link to Cropper. Link to Cropper. That doesn't say who that one is. Addressing some BS aside from our national crisis. I don't know. I don't know who those are. Unless it's Rob. It's very possible those are Rob. Trying again. I'm going to guess it was Rob because he always got knocked out. She sent me that one. You know, I don't even know who that was, but the Horrors of Bugle Bulb, she wanted me to see that. Link to NJ, link to NJ. I don't know if that's her or Tracy, that link. Because, it says what it says. Another YouTube. Oh, okay. Gina has a YouTube, and she was snagging NJ and Justin's scopes and putting them on that YouTube. That's what the YouTube things are. That's Gina's YouTube, and it's hidden, so you guys wouldn't be able to see it. But yeah, Gina does not know I'm sharing with you. If need be, I can screen record, but the boys need to investigate this. And it's a chat. It's the Judy chat. A chat just for me. Yeah, I sure will. Let's see, where was I? Another YouTube. NJ scope. She wrote, this asshole. I said, I'll go watch. Can you send the link to my messenger? And she said yes, so she did. Well, I guess a few are pissed. And this was one of, I think that's from NJ's page. Yeah, if you remember that one. And then, of course, she needed to make sure to get Debbie's thing. Exactly. I'm telling you, they are not innocent. They never, ever, I don't know. And if you'll notice that she was the one putting it to me. And then your Cash App. They figured that out. This is interesting. Then she decided to forward me the law on it. I'll place a lien on their app since using me and my video content make them money. And then how's the ice storm? Link to NJ, case in point. They stalk. I've had enough of their bullshit, as she sends me all the links to you guys. Yeah, she wanted to put a lien on your app because you talk about her. than all the YouTubes. And some of these may also be Judy's YouTube, because she has one as well that's hidden. So, I just wrote, I have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, but if it came out like that, we got them. Oh, this was where they were talking about Justin was going to hold her down and your son was going to piss in her mouth. And she said the last one is where they said it. Here, okay, do not respond. Oh, crap, hold on, I gotta turn that up. I will replay that. I hope you can hear it. She was being very quiet. Either she was at work or something.
Well, I didn't respond to this very last one. That was their response to the previous video I did. Also, the video I did that prompted that response.
Could you guys hear that okay? Basically what she said was that here, maybe if I move it closer, don't pay attention to my picture and stuff.
Well, I didn't respond to this very last one. That was their response to the previous video I did. Also, the video I did that prompted that response.
I have to let my dog in 1 second. Okay. I'm in my garage, so. She said that she only responded to the last one, and it prompted her response. Oh, that Periscope is a link to herself. She would send those to me too, so she sent me links to herself. I said, hide them if they can, or hide them if you can, until I talk to others, okay? And I was going to talk to my superiors because I wanted her to just shut up. She said they already got them. I don't know.
They were live 5 minutes after I did mine. They stalked the fuck out of my life.
She said they were live 5 minutes after she was done. You guys stalk her life. I wish I could turn that up somehow. I said, no, that's good. She said,
you want me to hide everything I have?
Do you want me to hide everything I have? I said, if you hide them, they are going to get pissed. That's what I want. Now, mind you, I didn't think that you guys were going to get pissed. I wanted her to hide them to stop. I wanted her to stop. So, at least in my stupid head, I was thinking that if there was no response, it was going to stop going, back and forth.
Okay, I'll hide them. Do you want me to poke them some more?
She said, okay, I'll hide them. Do you want me to poke them some more? I just wrote, hide anything pertaining to them. She said, okay. I said, no, as in not to poke you anymore. I said, let Robin, Shauna, and even Val is right now. So I wasn't telling her to have them do it, right? What I was saying was for her to just shut up, and if everybody else was going to do it, it wouldn't be on her. And I know this isn't going to make sense in anybody's head but my own. I just really wanted her to shut up. So if somebody else was doing it, whatever. But I didn't want, yes. So if she were to shut up, it would be fine. You know what I mean? I don't know. I know it's stupid. Okay. She said, I said, I want you to only respond with a New York fuck you or whatever, not address them. She said, yes, I was trying to steer her away. And I swear on my father's grave, on my grandchildren's lives, that's what I was trying to do. I wanted to get out of, pretending to be an FBI person. I really did. I wanted that to stop. And you'll see later where when I get there, I'll explain that to you. Respond with the New York fuck you. She said, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go look up a song, and I'll address it without ever saying their names.
She said, I will go look up songs, and I'll address it without even saying their names. I said, there you go. Ha, ha, ha. Also, something with Queen in it, because apparently they think that's racist. She said, I know. I wrote, fucking retards. And Judy has addressed this part out loud. My boss is actually coming to dinner in about an hour. We don't talk shop as a rule, but we just might have to. She said, do it. I said, if you don't hear from me tonight, don't think that I'm not. We usually drink a lot of wine when they are here. And for the record, I don't even drink. Period. I said, but I got you. Those stupid fuckers. Pissing on someone is aggravated assault. Not to mention the holding you down part. Yep, probably. I said, do we have anyone that will look for memes that they might make of Jeff or your daughter? Like that's in with them. I need someone over there to flip. I'll figure it out. I don't even know why I said that at that point. Oh, maybe I was pretending that I had talked to my boss and that's what they wanted. I don't know. She said, pissing in my mouth while Daddy holds me down. Then another NJ scope. She said, here's another. It's supposed to be OMFG. I don't know. She screws up so much. Something told Val to drive over and say to his face and to bring her brother.
He just did a scope and told Val, hey, that's why you drag your ass over in your car to my house. Oh, by the way, bring your brother. Oh, that's right, you can't. Go dig him up. Dust him off. Clean off that mud. What a vile motherfucker.
Oh, and that's when it must have been Justin. Oh, that was probably NJ up there. Said, oh, that's right, you can't bring him, dig him up, dust him off, something like that. NJ Minion, and she was pointing out Cherry Blossom. Somebody sent that screenshot. Oh, it looks like, oh, shoot, what's her name? Barb? Is it Barb? I think that's the picture of Barb. That cookies lady. Judy, if you're watching this, come for me, you fat whore, is what Cherry Blossom wrote. And then that Barb wrote, just a warning, she's very unstable. She's a real bitch. I bet money she does something. Yeah, Barbara Cook. I bet money she does something to me, or has NJ do it. Did you happen to hide the scope? That was to that Barb. I don't know. And she wrote that Suzanne Mercado in Jersey near Hammer. And then January 13th, they must have taken down all their scopes. She wrote, but they were snagged. I have them. Stand by. I said, okay, send them to my messenger. She said, okay. She wrote, or she did a scope, and she wrote, how was that? Said I didn't get to hear a lot of the scope. I didn't get to hear a lot of it because scope is fucked right up today. But what I heard was good. She said, okay, I thought it was my internet. She sent me a link to Tina. Crapper is in there, and Shauna. So she wrote at the bottom of that. Then she wrote, okay, Gina got 6 of the 8 they did. And those are the Gina YouTubes. She wrote, you in meetings, I forget, just left the wake, a link to Crapper. At 3:10 is when you hear him cock the gun. She was talking about Crapper. She wrote me the next day, did you hear it? I said, I've been taken off this case and moved to human trafficking. So this is when I was like, I really can't do this anymore. I'm going to say that I'm not on this case at all whatsoever. She said, WTF, why, shit, so I am done then. I said, I'll give you a call back in a bit. Everyone was blindsided by this. She said, hi, baby boy. I see it. Can you go show Mama? Please. Dodo's on the phone. No, I'm still on, honey. Okay. No, my daughter is here with them. So. Okay. I'll give you a call in a bit. Everybody was blindsided. She said, okay, but am I still protected, my son? I said, oh, absolutely. I will have more info for you as soon as this is all figured out. I knew that they were never in danger by you guys. I knew it. I mean, come on. It was ridiculous that she even thought that she was in this kind of danger. So I just always said that they're still protected. She said, Kay. I said, hey, are you busy? Or can you talk? She said, give me 5. I said, okay, just give me a call. You bet. Sell. I said, either or. And that's what I was telling her. I was not on the case anymore, making up whatever I could. A screenshot of Crapper's thing. Then I sent a link for a newspaper article or something on the restoration thing. You guys remember what I'm talking about? In Virginia. She said, saw it. Yeah, right, I did. and you'll see, I do. I make shit up. I know, it's stupid. She said, saw it, they're fucked, LOL. At this point, she really, really, really hated Crapper. I just put a laughy face, and she sent me a screenshot about whatever. About that. She must have done a scope and said, fuck you, Tammy. But I wrote, my favorite part, fuck you, Tammy, ha ha ha. She said, yup, and fuck you, Crapper. I said, ha ha ha. Actually, it will help further any arrests, LMAO. And she sent me more links on that. She sent me a picture of something you shared. No idea. No idea why. And then the Tina Piazza ordeal. And then she tells me, this is where you need to hang out now, these sick-ass fucks. I said, ugh, I hate this. She said, oh, I highly doubt that. She's not going to tell anybody the things that she wanted done. This is where you need to hang. Oh, okay. She wrote, if I help, I'm going under a fake. I could puke.
And I didn't even listen to it. I just was like skimming through it, and I was like, all I do is talk about pedophiles and kids, and then you got Sherry Pinch mentioned again, and somebody Howell. These are people that were affiliated with Marietta. And it talks about fucking that Medusa bitch from fucking New Zealand, and then you got Kathy Barker. This is like a whole fucked up mess.
Were you guys able to hear that? Okay. Then she sent me a link to Tammy. Right now she's on Tammy's ass on this. Another link to Crapper. Oh, he was on his way. So she knew. He's almost there. 10 hours to go. I just said, here, I need to go back. I have a person that will be there for the rally. And then she sent me a copy of what Jim said. Oh, 2, 3. Yes. Actually, when I told her that I was doing the child trafficking, she was trying to link a bunch of people to it. A bunch. And you'll see that as I go through here. So more screenshots of Crapper. She wrote, that goes with this post. I have no idea. I wrote, fucking A, gotta go real quick. She said, okay, go get him. I wrote, okay, so I made a dummy account on Facebook. My name is Annie Sheridan. Please don't tell anyone. I'm not gonna friend you or anything. I just needed to let you know I'm forwarding all my shit that way, which I don't have. I did, but I never used it. She said, okay, still send you info to Jen, right? And I just said, yeah. She said, you bet. Then she sent me 33 rule. She wanted to show me that 33 rule was on your scope. Look there. Turner call all up in Tina vids. I bet I was right, Jen. What's the connection? So yes, at that point she was trying to say that all of y'all were into the child trafficking. She said, seems quiet, which makes me nervous. And then she went to that, do you guys remember that Feet Piece guy? He was quite crazy. So she just sent me links to that. Yeah, exactly. I said, I'm in there. She said, what the fuck? I said, we've got it. Oops. Andrea shared this, she said. And Andrea just came in. That's funny. Andrea shared this. Who is that guy? Is she kidnapped? I said, I was under my own name, but then he blocked me. I'm under my fake. He's nuts. She said, me too. I said, they are going to be there. Oh, winkers. If you notice, there's winky faces. That's what I was saying the FBI. That's why we called them winkers, was because we used that as instead of saying FBI. Very jealous of Andrea. Very. So winkers, they are going to be there. They want to keep him talking, to keep her safe, or a little safe at least. She said, we need a call later. Where is he? I said, Pennsylvania. She said, WTF, that guy is insane. Told her to watch the beginning. He talked about threesomes, WTF. I said, yeah, they all have a mental illness history. The other guy's name is Josh, he's actually at the precinct. She said, this is the first time I saw this. I said, he's bipolar. He's been on our radar for a very long time, almost a year. He's been hospitalized 3 times this year. She said, what about her? I said, the thing is, I am a writer, so I could make stuff up, I guess. What about her? I said, her parents have tried to commit her 5150. It's only happened once. And there is a YouTube channel on this guy, and that's how I actually found this information. Is she there against her will? I said she states that she's not, but we all believe she is. If we can't go on our gut, I don't know what I meant by that. She said, wow. I said, yeah, it's crazy. There are times when he makes really good points about life, but he's completely manic right now, which he was. Where did I go? I said he controls everything, even that guy Josh. Kate doesn't sleep with Josh. Only Jim is allowed to. She said, you have Josh. I said, but Kate must be in there. I said, yes. She said, oh my God, I need an actual call. This is nuts. I said, he's back on. She said, okay, send link. I don't see him. I said, the link didn't work. She said, I think he blocked me. I said, shit. She said, I have another. LOL, hold on. I said, haha, okay. I'm Trump Pence 2020 KAG. She said, I'm jerk off porn. I said, I'm going to try to keep him talking. He might like that name. Yes, she did. And you wait, there's more. There's more than just this, too, about everybody. She said he might like that name. Let me know if you guys are still there. I'll wait a second to see if this goes back. I ended up... Okay, good. I don't know what that was supposed to be. I said he didn't mind your name. My scope lags, because it goes through the agency. Someone is reporting users. And then she got blocked. I said, fuck, you got blocked. She said, do you have, or I said, do you have any other accounts? Yes, LOL. I said, come back, haha. She said, I'm in. I said, good. Fucker just got me. Damn it, I thought sucking his, that was supposed to be ass, would keep me in. Fuck, are you still in? She said, yes. Get another account. I think that's what she meant. I said, I am. It takes me a minute because it goes through the agency. LOL. What's the title of his scope? And then she sent me the link to it. He just blocked her. WTF. I said, it's not him. Haha, I just got a call. She said, who is it? I don't know. And then she sent me that because she wanted me to know that Tina shared it. Look who shared. I said, of course she did. They're sick fucks. She said, I got blocked again. I said, were you Dog's Rule? She said, Puppy Live. I said, oh, haha, I'm in, but I'm not commenting. She said, I'm going back in. She got another account. And then she wanted to show me that Andrea was sharing something. Oh, wait, no. No, the NJ was showing, but look, Andrea, she caught that too. But that NJ was sharing whatever that was. Then there was a post on Facebook. I don't know what it was. A link to NJ. And that was about that Jimmy guy. Another link to NJ. She wrote, I know you got court next week, thinking of you. Should I take a road trip? I don't know if that was her or you guys. And then she shared Big Bud. I don't know who that is. She shared Gons. Don't know who that is. Shared that. Oh no, that's Gons. Good morning. You aren't going to believe this shit. Exactly. I mean, you guys weren't focusing on her. She doesn't. I'm telling you, she is always, always, always on Periscope. I don't know whose that was. Then she sent me a YouTube on that kid again. There's that feet piece, Big Bud. And then she wrote, this is getting intense. She wrote, oh my fucking God, they think she's pregnant. That was still about feet piece. And then, this moron just can't let it go. It's when you made a post about your son's birthday. And I'm not sure what you weren't letting go. Oh, Gina, maybe. Oh, shit. Are you kidding me? Okay. Sorry. I must have hit something. Give me a minute. Oh, wait. Okay. No. Sorry, guys. Oh, there we were. Okay. Back to the Grayson thing. Yeah, exactly. She wanted to make sure that I saw comments for some reason. That's when she got her air fryer and was cooking. She wrote, hey, Jen, how you doing? I said, hanging in there. Been a busy few days. I fucking hate this new shit. How about you? She said the traffic, which she was talking about the trafficking. I said, yes. She said, I'm good. Yeah, I can imagine it's grueling on the soul. I said, I can take my mind to dark places to find a child or to bust a creep once in a while. Doing it 24/7 is another story. I know we live in a very dark world, but it gets worse with every new training I have to take. She said, oh, God.
Will they rotate you out of it after a while? Or do they leave you in there for years and years at a time?
She asked me if they would rotate me out of there or leave me in there for years. I said something back, so I'm going to make sure you can hear it.
It basically depends on how well I do, which sucks because I really want to be bad, but competitive part of me can't allow myself to do that. So, yeah. And it just, when you have grandbabies and you have all girls, and I just, and it's not, you always expect creepy motherfuckers that are nasty, degenerate assholes, that they're the ones that are doing it, and it's not. It's blue collar workers, it's white collar workers, it's school people, it's people that fucking take your order in McDonald's. It's, I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's it for that. All of that is actually true, but yeah, it's Judy. She said, I'm going to go live, but call me when I'm done. I want to show the chicken, but I want to talk to you. I said, sounds good. I'm trying to make sure you can see all of it. I said, hey, my daughter just buzzed in too. I'll talk to you tomorrow after I talk to my supervisor. Love you, lady. She said, you bet. Love ya. Vent anytime. Then on the 21st of January, call me. Well, I'm not surprised nor shocked. I'm going to say that was probably her. Another link, whether it be to her, I don't know. That's to NJ. Probably her. The 21st there, total assholes. Oops, sorry guys. I wrote 100%. She sent me another link to NJ. The LMAO one. I don't know. Maybe it was her, because maybe you guys were going back and forth at that point. And then, so there's NJ, and then another NJ. A YouTube that was sent to me. And now we're back on Tammy. I wrote, she is such a fucking liar, and the people that was supposed to be fall for her shit make me sick. She sent me a link to Tammy's Facebook page. I said, so I have only gotten a few minutes in and have already caught her in lies due to the motion of her mouth. There are very slight things that people will do when lying. She does it in spades. She said, yep, I'm watching now. I said, and of course she is going to take a leave. That was after all that happened and they found out she was working with Antifa. She said, hold on, white supremacy, LOL. She said, stand by. Listen to them yelling white power. And then she sent me the link. Oh, she does. I said, what the fuck? You should send that to that girl. And I was talking about Sydney. She said she was. And now I'm talking about my daughter. The bitch pled guilty. No more court for my daughter. And then all the emojis. She said, fan-fucking-tastic. Best news I heard today. A link to NJ. Another link to NJ. I wrote, Tammy wanted a civil war to start. That's the only explanation I can give. She wanted a civil war because she is 100% anti-government. Then I sent a link. It was probably to Tammy. She wrote, yup. Oh, wait, no. That's a video Sydney did with a guy who was confronted by one of the Antifa members at that dinner. Another link to Scope. I don't know why sometimes it says the name in it and sometimes it doesn't. Then another link to NJ. Who is that? Oh, Joanne. Oh, I've been speaking to very important people about certain ones. They are being watched big time. She said Joanne has people watching me. Somebody said, or made a Scope who mad. NJ wrote, or she sent a link to NJ. I said, bitch, there's a file on every one of you. Stalker much? She took it down. I only got to the part where she was addressing Tracy. I don't know what that was, but she said, I hope Gina got it. I said, were there threats in it? Another link to NJ. I don't know that link. Another link to NJ. Another link to NJ. Good morning. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm not sure who did that one. 9/11 Museum. Oh, that was Judy when she went to New York. The 27th. Call me if you can. Another link. The 28th. You okay? I said, yeah. She said, okay, I thought you were mad at me. I said, no, not at all. She said, okay, good. Call me. I got something for you. I said, when? She said, now. This is when, okay, these are messages from Tracy to Judy that she shared with me. And it was about Janelle. So they were talking back and forth. Janelle's post, who wrote that? Janelle. Another, I don't know. Yeah, I can try. Oh, yeah, there we go. So that was between them. Let's see if I go. Sorry, my phone rang, so I'll wait a second to make sure that you guys can hear me still. Just let me know if you can hear me. Okay. All right, so there's that one. Another one. Another one. Sorry, I'm lighting a cigarette. Okay, let's see. Another one. This might be. Okay, so how do I. That might